Coffee, coffee. Hey there. Let me wet my whistle and get to it. It is time once again for the golden age of DC Comics, 365 days, where I take this beloved hardcover coffee table book given to me about 2 decades ago by one of my best friends. It's been surfing my coffee table ever since, and it is a source of comic book shop style conversation that I wish to recreate here today with you. So thank you so much for tuning in. This is a 2004 Abrams publication, written and curated by Les Daniels, Chip Kidd, and Geoff Spear. You can find a link to the Amazon page where you can get your own in the description, so you can play along at home, or you can gift the special geek in your life. And the golden age of DC Comics runs between 1938 and 1955. The Silver Age between 1956 and 1970. The Bronze Age, I'm a Bronze Age baby myself, 1970 to 1985. And the Copper Age begins in 1985. And also, I usually take a moment in the beginning of the show to give the escapism caveat. Activism is very important. It is needed in this world. The world has its problems, and the people who live on this world, and also the other, our neighbors, the animals, need some attention too. But lately, over the past few years, activism has kind of bullied itself into every social platform, everything that has an outreach and an audience. And it's using dirty tricks and bad labeling to kind of get its way. I mean, activism is very important, yes, but escapism is just as important. We need to leave behind the world's problems, even just for a few moments in a day, and get transported to a different place to forget the world's problems, not to be constantly reminded of the world's problems. And so to put the world's problems into sports, comic books, movies, just things that we should be taking a break from just for a few moments. I mean, I'm developing a huge case of compassion fatigue. I'd rather ignore the activists now. I mean, let them shout at the cloud, as the meme goes. And stay out of our fictions. I mean, you're ruining it. And is that your point? If you can't have your way, you're going to ruin it? I know that because I'm an only child. And I mean, I used to do that when I was a small person. Yeah, exactly. That's the kind of leverage you have, the power to ruin someone's day. I mean, I see through it. And so activists, you're needed, but stay in your lane. You have a space, you have a place. And escapism is just as important. We can be, fighting space aliens with laser swords and evil empires, or undersea adventurers talking to fishes, or rooting for the home team, or getting lost in a beautiful piece of art, or a piece of music. And so yeah, that's the escapism caveat, and that's how I start off the show, because I feel it's that important. We're at a point in history where activists are just using us to use us as a platform. I mean, you're taking advantage of us. You have your own place, and, stick to it. And that's all I got to say about that. Let's go forward. Crack this book open. We're going to use this book for its intended purpose. It's a 365 days book. We're going to open up to today's date. We're going to read the blurb. We're going to look at some comic book art. And then we're going to talk about comic books, because we're talking about comic books every day for the rest of the year. So here we go. It is July the 13th, and I hope you are having a great day. I really do. And I appreciate you, and I'm grateful you're here with us right now. This is pencils by Bob Kane and Lou Sire Schwartz. Inks by Charlie Paris from Batman issue number 50, December of 1948, January 1949. In a few moments... Don't be silly. Stilts was only bluffing. That deadly gas was only air. Batman! I hate you. I might have died, but you didn't care. Well, see, actually, you read that in the other way. I should have read Vicki's part first because we read these comic books left to right in the West. So the progression of the dialogue, the sequence of the dialogue, reads from left to right as well as the panels. This is comic book talk, so let's talk about it. Magazine photographer Vicki Vale was introduced in 1948 in an apparent attempt to provide a love interest for Batman. Although she appeared from time to time for many years, the relationship never really caught on. This redhead was an identity-probing pest like Superman's Lois Lane, but otherwise failed to establish an interesting relationship with either of the Batman's identities. Many fans seem to feel that the woman Batman really liked the best was the alluring villain Catwoman. True that, huh? Let's look at this art once again. We have shadows. Like, where's that light source coming from? You know, to see those shadows splitting like that in different parts of the room. That's always an interesting aspect of a comic panel, is point of view and light source. And but we're going to talk about today the Batman's love interest. So we're going to talk about Vicki Vale real quick. In 1989, the Tim Burton movie came out, and Vicki Vale became very popular once again. She was cast as Bruce Wayne in Batman's love interest, and also as someone the Joker had his eye on. And she was portrayed by the alluring and beautiful Kim Basinger, and who was a very, who was an ingenue at the time. And ingenue was a young, beautiful actress who, and I guess you can only be an ingenue once, huh? But let's talk about Vicki Vale for a second. Victoria Vale, usually called Vicki, is a fictional character appearing in American comic books, published by DC Comics. And of course, I'm reading this from the wiki in my best Rich Edmonds voice. God, I hope nobody clips that. I don't care. Commonly in association with the superhero Batman. Created by Bob Kane and Bill Finger, the character debuted in Batman number 49. So it's the issue right before this one that we're focusing on today. Vicki Vale is a journalist, usually based in Gotham City, and has worked for various iterations of the character and surrounding the DC universe, blah, blah, woof, woof. And she is frequently depicted as a romantic interest of Bruce Wayne, the alter ego of Batman. And it goes on to say that her early appearances revolved around her suspicions that Batman and Bruce Wayne were the same person, but Batman would usually manage to fool her by the end of each story into concluding that he was really not Bruce Wayne, but her suspicions would reemerge in a later story. Vicki remained a prominent character in Batman from 1948 until Detective Comics number 320 in October of 1963. Because in 1964, the very popular individual Julius Schwartz became the editor of the Batman-related comics. And Schwartz dropped a number of Batman's Silver Age backing characters, including Vicki Vale, Kathy Kane, the Batwoman, Batgirl, Batmite, and Ace the Bat Hound. And it started getting into a more serious tone. It also adopted eventually adopted the oval. You can see on the bat signal here in the Gotham skyline. All right, and that was we would call today corporate syzygy, because that was the look of the Batman '66 TV show with Adam West and Burt Ward. And Batman has a huge list of love interests, all these broken hearts. There was Julie Madison, the first of his love interests in Detective Comics number 31. And there was Vicki Vale in Batman 49. There was Selina Kyle, the Catwoman. She appeared in Batman number 1. She's been here from the beginning. And it appears that Selina and Bruce are this moon and sun, always chasing each other in the sky, always, getting together, breaking up, and then with the universe resets, where once again we get to see Bruce and Selena fall in love all over again. And that's one of the gifts, I guess, of reboots, of being able to tell the story once again. And Earth 2, in this golden age of DC Comics, eventually becomes something called Earth 2 in the multiverse. And Selena and Bruce get married. He retires from being Batman, becomes police commissioner, and they have a daughter named Helena, who grows up to become the Huntress. Indeed. There's also Talia al Ghul, the daughter of his nemesis, Ra's al Ghul, or Ra's al Ghul, however you want to pronounce it. Same dude, but Bruce and Talia have a child together. His name is Damian Wayne, otherwise known as one of the Robins. He's actually one of the current Robins, and his spin is that he's dark and brooding, kind of like his father. And he's very best well paired with Dick Grayson, the first Robin, who was light and energetic and ebullient. And so that's the dynamism in that duo. And they play very well together. There was Silver St. Cloud, who was one of the first ones I was aware of, being a comic book reader as a kid in the late 70s. And this was kind of like they call this the penthouse era, where Batman literally lived in downtown Gotham, because I believe the Batcave was destroyed and was being rebuilt. So Bruce had moved his operation into a skyscraper, and so it was Silver St. Cloud. And I just found out that she was been killed off in the continuity. Oh no! Well, God bless the wikis. This is how we find out about stuff, huh? And yeah, Silver was a socialite who dated Bruce Wayne and managed to deduce the secret of his alter ego. However, she couldn't handle being involved with someone in such a dangerous line of work. Yeah, always breaking those hearts, Batman. And one of my favorite romantic hookups was with, literally in continuity, was with Wonder Woman, Diana Prince, Princess Diana of Themyscira. It was in something called Justice League of America, the Obsidian Age, where there was a good setup to payoff, where they were flirting at the beginning. They got transported back to the distant past and met the ancient heroes of antiquity, who were a lot more brutal and lethal, and they lost. And so it was one of these death and rebirths that before that they died, they shared a romantic kiss. And then later on that got fleshed out to be, yeah, let's not do this, and we'll remain very good friends. And so, yeah, the many loves of Batman and Bruce Wayne. And that's what we get for talking about comic books. And we're going to be talking about comic books every day for the rest of the year. So tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, and we'll find out who we're talking about when we turn the page tomorrow. Like and subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. Turn on those notifications. Ring that bell. And I would love to be part of your YouTube day. I make daily content. We talk about comic books. I'm a professional chef. We talk about cooking. I'm an ordained minister. We talk about spirituality and gratitude. I love nature. We have videos of bunnies eating their breakfast and before the dawn. I love these cute little nature moments. If it's a clear morning and they're out, I love finding the planets in the early morning sky. And yeah, these are the things I just like to share on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. And we will see you again in the funny pages tomorrow. Thanks. Bye-bye.